Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back. I am obviously not in my garden right now. I am actually in the warehouse of the plant company. And the plant company works with proven winners for their houseplant line, which is actually called Leafjoy. And it is so neat that they are expanding into houseplants now at this point, because it gives us even more fun plants to play with. And now we get to play with plants inside, especially during the winter when it's cold. In my previous life, I used to be in healthcare. I used to be a physical therapist. And one of the most important things as a healthcare professional is that we did continuing education. And the point for doing continuing education was that so we would stay on top of all the newest information, all the newest ways that things are done, all the new stuff. And I kind of think of these trips with proven winners the same way. I think of it as continuing education. As a gardener, I'm learning all the new things, all the new techniques, all the new research that's coming out. And so this trip is my continuing education for houseplants. So it's going to be a pretty busy, pretty fun weekend. There are so many cool people here. Hopefully I can show you all some of them. I don't know how I'm going to be able to show you all everything, you know, in one video, but I am going to try. So let me turn the camera around and give you guys a little sneak peek at the plant company's warehouse. It's pretty cool.
I'm Ben Wright. I work for the plant company and I am our national account manager. And so I pursue large regional chains. And so I'm hoping to get Leafjoy into more homes and at places where people can buy it at a more affordable price points as well. Let's head towards the greenhouse. So this is one of those little details that I really love. Jason and Frank are always trying to be on the leading edge of not only quality of plants, but in terms of technology that is not readily used on the market right now. This just looks like another growing container to everyone here. And for all intents and purposes, it is. But it's a solid quality, but it's tauped for a reason. You know those black growing containers you use? Mm-hmm. You think they get recycled, don't you? If they're number 5 plastics, they all go in the landfill, unfortunately. The recycling facilities, they rely on mechanical eyes, black belt, black container, they all go in the landfill. And so they chose this color particularly so it could be recycled, and then they're also made from 100% certified post-consumer recycled plastics. So there's no new plastics in any of our growing containers.
So are all Leafjoy plants will come in this container?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Our H2O items are one of the really fun things we do that's special. And so right here, this is actually some of our trial H2O items. So we work with growers all around the world to find the best genetics. And that takes a lot of time. So these are some beautiful aglaonemas we got. This is something we're trialing to see if this breeder is who we want to be working with. And so the idea is we need to get the shrink down to a low enough point where it's viable for us to use. And so every time the breeder sends us samples, these spend the next month or so in this space. And if we lose 20% or so, then that's not something we're going to pursue. And so then we go back to the breeder and ask them to continue to work on it. And then they work on the genetic material, get it better quality, and then we try again. And so we've been working with this company for quite some time now to get this to where we need it to be. But hopefully we'll be bringing these beautiful aglaonemas out soon. I love them.
So they're here because of lighting. You guys want to see how the lighting
Well,
is?
it's just not great lighting, and so they should be able to survive here, right?
Right.
It's just like Lowe's or your home, right?
Yeah.
If you're in an interior room, these are supposed to be a plant that you can set and forget, right? They can go anywhere in your home. And so if they can survive a dusty warehouse, they're going to survive in your home. So we want everything to go out the door to be at the quality that a consumer can succeed with. It's not about retailer success plays a big role in it, but at the end of the day, a plant can look pretty for 2 weeks in a garden center. You know, they get it, oh my gosh, looks great, you take it home, but that plant is shocked from transportation. It probably has spider mites and thrips, and then it dies in your home, and the consumer thinks it's their fault. And I think more people have green thumbs than they realize. They're just getting bad plants. This is something you'll start to see. This is a fun one I'm happy they're trialing. This is our new venti bowl. And so it's just a really big, beautiful H2O bowl. Lots of fun with that one. That's brand new. I always love coming here because this is our final quality control area where you guys are standing. Plants come into these rollers for an order. This is something that's probably going out Monday morning, probably a 9 a.m. pickup, and so they've had to pull them today because we don't like our staff to have to work on the weekends. We believe people should work to live, you know, the good way around, right? And so this is a beautiful order that we've got going out. This is all of our Leafjoy items. One of the things you'll see is the same consistency across the board. Everything that goes out the door should be the same height and spec, right? We have these here for a reason, and our specification sheets. So if the team is ever unsure about a variety's height, how big it should be, how many leaves it should be, how full it should be, this is something they can reference to make sure we ship out the right quality every time.
You all make sure you have the right number of leaves.
Yeah, like great example are Monstera Thai constellations. Our spec on those is 18 to 21 inches tall, and they're gonna have at least 4 leaves with fenestrations before they go out the door. And so we believe in industry leading spec. We wanna be ahead of the game, and we wanna be shipping a better plant.
Wow.
Yeah. That's our living lace Savannah. It's got a really great depth of color. When new leaves pop out, they go beautiful light green, and then you get a really beautiful chalky blue as they mature.
Is it like a fern? Like you have to treat it like a fern?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's so pretty.
All of our plants are going to have variety-specific tags. So we talked a little bit about consumer success. Don't worry, we have a new tag photo for this one on the way. That's actually this plant right here. This one right here.
Oh yeah, you need it.
Mythic Alocasia Milo. This one's got really incredible texture. It almost feels fake. Yeah.
It literally feels fake.
Yeah. And so we said, all right, what light levels does it need? Often those tags are confusing, they're not clear, and they're just targeted at low light or high light houseplants. And they're not genus or variety specific. And so this plant belongs in our cocoon collection, which means it tolerates low light conditions, perfect for an interior room. Spa scene, loves humidity, it would be great in or near a bathroom. And work life collection. So it's small in stature, it's never gonna get big and take up a lot of space. I just wanna remind everyone this is a working greenhouse. So we do have growers out there that are working, so let's try to make sure we stay out of their way as best we can. And then of course, let's respect the space. So I ask that we don't run around, frolic around. We are gonna walk on some belt systems that are elevated about a foot off the ground. So if anyone has balance issues or is uncomfortable with that, don't feel pressured to walk on the belts. But to see all the cool plants, we're gonna walk up and down quite a few number of belts. So you'll see some things out there that are damaged or burnt. We had some really hot weather this weekend, and the high pressure fogging system wasn't working as it should have. And so you'll see calatheas that have some burning, unfortunately. So we learned from that. And so we always admit, yeah, sometimes there are quality issues, but guess what? It doesn't get put on our availability if it's not at the quality you expect. So there's some things out there you'll see that might be burnt or damaged, or have nutrition deficiencies. Those are not shipping. And so we use those to learn and see maybe is it a breeder problem, is it a soil mix problem, or is it the fertilizer, right? And so those are all things they work at to resolve. So if something's bad, we don't ship it. So this is supposed to be for vehicles only, but I like a grand entrance.
Ooh. Nice. Ooh, I love it. Look at the babies. Oh my gosh. Look at all the babies. So this is where all the plants get started. This is ridiculous. It just keeps going.
So sometimes mutations happen. And so we have a few customers who are specifically looking for these. If you're ever in Nashville, North Carolina, there's a gentleman, Grow and Green Nursery, and he is just a houseplant greenhouse, and he sells rare and exotic houseplants. This is something he's looking for. So when this happens in the greenhouse, we put a yellow flag in it and set it aside for him. We're not gonna charge him more for this than we would any other silver dragon. Whatever he charges it for, at the end of the day, that's up to him. We know what they go for on retail. You see them $400 sometimes online. You'll first off notice the high pressure misters just went off. And so our climate control system in here is completely automated. There's 6 greenhouses and 12 zones. So each house is divided into 2 zones, and they program that based on the plants. We've got 2 layers of shade cloth above us, and those are all automated to set the light levels to exactly what we want for that space. It's called Ivo Hoonagorn Climate Control System, and it's all on an automated system. So we have high pressure misters, we've got 2 layers of shade cloth, and then once a year we do a limestone wash on the glass on the roof, so that way the light is nice and even and we lower our light level. We get 60 more days of light here than they do in Ohio. That's one of the many reasons we chose this location. The other is the altitude. At 1,500 feet above sea level, you'll notice how cool it is in this greenhouse. That's exactly what we want. When you get above 76 degrees with houseplants, they start to decline, and anything above 85 degrees, they enter what we call summer dormancy. And so you don't see new growth. And so being at this elevation in the Blue Ridge Mountains, we're able to keep a nice, cool greenhouse. And then in addition, you'll see how tall it is. They went to Europe for several months before founding this company to learn everything they could from the growers there. In Holland, they grow some of the best houseplants in the world. And one of the things they noticed was how tall their greenhouses were. They were wondering, were they just doing it because they like tall buildings? But it's actually this height, 21 feet from gutter to floor, creates 3 thermal zones. And so it takes all day before that heat reaches ground level. And so we can keep the plant's average daily temperature to 76 degrees.
Look at the baby. Oh, it's so cute.
So this allows the roots to grow and the soil to breathe, and it takes in all the nutrients. It's just a soft little netting.
Wow.
Doesn't hurt a
So
thing.
this is a netting, and then here's the roots.
You got it.
So it's a little container.
So you can see this is girdling, but it's just popping open.
Look at
So
that.
when this gets repotted, nice and healthy. I mean, the roots are so white.
So this is a great example of where something went wrong with the climate control system, and these calatheas didn't get the care they needed. And so these are not on our availability right now because they have burning. This is not something we're going to ship out.
Okay.
They have problems.
So what are you going to do with these?
Yeah, we're going to try to continue to grow them and study them to learn what went wrong.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah,
But this batch in particular,
yeah. This batch in particular would not go out the door.
in the Cauliflower zone.
Yeah. So we had a humidity problem over the weekend, and some of our calatheas got damaged. So unfortunately, a lot of these varieties have been removed from our availability until we can resolve it.
So they won't sell these. Too crispy.
Now we're getting into the finished plants. We'll be welcome to start walking down some bays. I always love going down this bay because it's got a bunch of really beautiful philodendrons. And so remember, we are walking on belts, so please be careful. Otherwise,
you're not kidding.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
Well, enjoy
Literally
them.
walking up on a dog.
Yeah, because it's very tight next to it.
Yeah.
And so,
I'm used to treadmill.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. This is like a crazy treadmill. Wow. Oh, look at this beautiful
yeah.
one.
So that's our philodendron, like caramel black cardinal.
Oh
this
my-
is a trial item,
Oh.
and it's beautiful. Great autumn fall colors. I
Oh
love
my
this begonia.
Goodness. Is that a
Monarda Mountain.
Oh my god.
Isn't that great texture?
This is crazy. So is this in something like that's going to be in the rare houseplant
This
line?
was actually be in our boutique collection, so not our collector's edition, one
Okay.
step below that. And then as the tissue culture becomes more available,
Uh-huh.
eventually this will be brought into Leafjoy Premium. So we're always trying to bring more value to the consumers.
So the 3 collections.
Leafjoy Premium,
Uh-huh.
which is available everywhere, Leafjoy Boutique, and Leafjoy Collector's Edition. And Boutique and Collector's Edition are only available to independent garden centers.
Oh my goodness. But the goal is to gradually build
Yeah,
them
and
up.
then bring more into Collectors
Oh,
and
that's
Boutique.
so
Yeah.
fantastic.
We talked a little bit earlier about variegations. It was brought up. So we're trying to find a good TC of a variegated Antherium. And so these have been really beautiful. They're even putting off a little bit of pink every now and then.
TC is tissue culture.
Tissue culture. But you can see it's not happening in all of them. And so this is something we'd go, yeah, they do. And so these are 2 different breeders who we're getting these from. And so we're going to
just
go
the
back
white.
to the breeders
That's
and
more
say,
yellow.
listen, we're only getting maybe 40% here as being successful. That's not the rate we want it to be, because if
That's
we're going to
not.
ship a variegated plant,
It
it
needs to
has
be
to
high.
be high variegation.
Yes.
I'm always disappointed when you see in stores a white princess, a white wizard, or pink princess that has no to little variegation.
Right.
That's not what we're ever going to ship.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're paying for a beautiful plant. You should get what you expect. You can see here we had some sort of problem with these anthuriums, so we've contacted the breeder to see what's going on with them. But you know, it's when you're trialing things, some things succeed, some things don't. What's up? So these are Leafjoy Littles. So this is our brand new. This is our brand new offering.
Oh,
it's
that's
in a
so
9-centimeter container. So it's kind of an open, friendly price point item. And so they can be used for terrariums, you know, reptile enclosures, or even just a young plant to get you started.
That's so
and so I
cute.
think these are retailing for like $5.98. So they're a great opening price point option with the same quality, virus index, tissue culture that you get with any of our other plants.
And this is the houseplant of the year?
This is the houseplant of the year for 2023. If anyone wants to explore down the Alocasia Bay here, we do. The Fern Bay is one of my favorites. The Alocasia you felt earlier that felt fake, that's our houseplant of the year for 2024.
Oh, how fun. How fun. Okay, so you just saw the 2023 houseplant of the year. Here's a little sneak peek of the 2024 houseplant of the year. I think this one is it. It's the Alocasia Dragonite. This is the weirdest plant. It's so cool. It feels like plastic. It's the neatest thing. It's almost like a fake plant, but it's so beautiful. So 2024 houseplant of the year, that means that you're gonna have way more access to this plant, which I just think is the funkiest thing. So cool. So this one right here is my favorite. This is called a Cebu Blue. When I first started getting into houseplants, I could not get my hands on this one. I mean, I couldn't find it anywhere. I ended up buying one off of, I think it was Facebook Marketplace, and I went to someone's apartment to buy this one, and I still have it. So just the fact to see that they have so many of these Cebu Blue and it has this beautiful moss pole is the coolest thing. So Ben, what's your favorite houseplant? Out of all of them, what's your favorite one? I'm putting you on the spot. You're number one.
I'm a parent and I don't have any, I don't have a favorite child.
I love them all equally.
I kind of love our Ficus benjamina because they're unique in one really special way. When you think of Ficus benjamina, they drop leaves. You look at them wrong, they drop leaves. You can't even breathe on them.
Yes.
So
That's why I don't have one. I love them,
taking old varieties with new genetics. And so in Holland, they've been breeding them for years to try to breed out the habit of leaf dropping. So this is our Klingon Ficus benjamina Twilight. This will not drop leaves.
No. Mom?
So this is not your grandparents' ficus.
My mom loves these and hates that they drop leaves. So Mom, say the name of this one again.
This is our Klingon Ficus benjamina Twilight. You can see we have our Anastasia here with that beautiful light green edging. And this one we don't have a name for yet, but the owner discovered it in our greenhouse. It was a mutation and he's bred it out. And we're calling it right now Frank's Ficus.
Frank's Ficus.
I like it. I hope it stays.
And so these are Ficus benjaminas too?
Okay. And so these are all Klingon series. So the leaves cling on.
I absolutely love that you all did that.
I love these because we have to educate people about them because they think of a ficus, they can't even look at it without it dropping leaves. And these are totally different.
Right. So this, I feel like this is the plant that gave houseplants a bad name of dropping leaves all the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
The original version of these. So just the fact that there's a Klingon, am I saying that right?
Yeah. I always have to make sure I pronunciate the G, otherwise I'm a Star Trek fan.
Star Trek, Klingon.
And I do love Star Trek.
So
cling on.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What is this? My goodness. Look at this thing.
This is our Twirly Whirly Fern.
That's so cool.
And so this is in the Leafjoy Littles program.
Oh, it's so neat.
I love that plant.